What's up, YouTube? This is Austin at Trade, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about this card and why I have so many of them. So I recently went on TCG Player and bought up 50 copies, which isn't an insane amount, but it's enough to give me a solid supply for if this card does go anywhere. Now, I don't know exactly what I want to do with all of them. Or I guess I do kind of know. I'll probably put all these in a binder. And I am actually just shy of 50 at the moment. I'm waiting on a few more copies to come in the mail. But I'll probably go buy a binder and put all these in there. And on top of the binder, I'm probably going to send a few in for grading. I don't know when. I don't know. Realistically, I should be grading them immediately, but I'm not one to spend $80 on shipping fees. These are the best ones that I picked out of the stack of 50. Centering looks pretty good on all of them, but not just centering. They've got no whitening, super clean copies. On the back, centering's off a little on that one. That one looks pretty good. That one looks pretty damn good. That one might be just a hair off, but this one, let's look at that one. So even this one, like, maybe it is a little bit smaller on one side than the other, but it's still pretty close to in the parameters. I have some over here. These ones were also really clean copies, but weren't good enough to send off to grading. And a lot of these ones, this is also something I kind of wanted to talk about, is the quality you get off TCG Player. So I bought all these near mint copies. You know, some of them are really off center like that. Like that, that's really off center. You flip them over, some of them have really minor whitening, but I mean still enough to be considered near mint. And so if I was gonna go buy TCG Player cards, from my experience alone, I can say if you want to get the cleanest copies, you got to get them close to release. Because some of the older cards I bought off of TCG Player that say near mint, they have less listings, and the listings you are buying, they're less likely to be quality copies. But the big reason I went after this card is because, well, one, it's Flygon. It's one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. Probably a top 3. It would definitely be on my team in the Pokeverse. But for 2, I love this artwork. Let's get a close-up of this artwork. So you can see you got Trapinch in the background right under Flygon. You got this one. It's like a tumbleweed Pokemon. You got a couple Lotads and Vibravas down here. And honestly, it reminds me of the Aerodactyl from Lost Origin. But when you look up Flygon, like on the popularity list, it is a pretty popular Pokemon. Like, a lot of people would put it in their team of 6 for sure. I don't think it's too many people's all-time favorite, but a lot of people put this high on the list of favorite Pokemon. And for me, I mean, I love playing with Flygon. I'm a Gen 3 guy. I grew up playing predominantly Ruby and Fire Red, but it's one of my favorite Pokemons. The artwork's amazing. This is the first illustration rare Flygon has received. And I mean, a lot of people talk crap about Phantasmal Flames, but there are cards like this. You know, I think I got a Meowth over here. I pulled a Meowth, a couple Meowths, which is cool. Somewhere I got a Meowth. But anyways, there are some cool cheaper cards like this, and for around $5 I think it's a no-brainer pickup. I don't really see it going under $5 with how amazing this artwork is. And if it does, like if it drops to $3, I'll probably just go buy more copies. But I honestly think this is a good long-term hold. I'm not necessarily trying to manipulate the market because my 50 copies did nothing. It's still a $5 card. I think I'm all in. I spent $305 for 50 copies, and that comes out to about $6.10 per card is what I'm in after like shipping and taxes and stuff like that. That's what I ended up paying, which to me was worth it. And I am debating on buying another 30 copies or another 50 copies and just filling out a binder like some people do. This is something I've thought about doing for a while. I would have loved to do it with the Tyranitar card, but it's harder with Tyranitar because like the Tyranitar Illustration Rare, it's a $40 card. Even if I was buying it when it was $20, I wouldn't be able to get near as many. It would have been a little bit riskier of a purchase. At $5, I think this is a no-brainer. Might as well scoop up 100 copies and kind of just sit on it. If it does nothing, I love the artwork. I love the Pokemon. I'm totally okay with holding on to them. And another thing to think about is, right now, Phantasmal Flames booster packs, they're probably $8 to $10, depending on where you're buying them. I mean, of course, you could always get them from a retail location, but they're being bought up heavily. And I've probably opened 20 to 30 packs myself already since the set's been out, which really isn't that much, but I'm kind of in a stage in my collecting career where I don't really open as many packs as I used to when I first got into the hobby. And so for me, I would much rather buy one of these for $5 than buy a pack for $5. And out of all those packs I opened, the 20, 30 packs, I haven't pulled a single Flygon. And as soon as I seen the set, I knew this was a card I had to have. Like, obviously I'd love to get the Charizard. I think that's why most people rip those packs. The Charizard Illustration Rare is just phenomenal. But basically with the Charizard Illustration Rare, it's a $500 card. If I could have pulled it, it would have been great. But spending $500 on a modern card, and that's just raw price, I'm pretty sure, it's a little bit steep. I'm not a big Charizard collector. I used to collect a lot of Charizards. I think everybody, when they first get in the hobby, goes after the Zard. But I think something like this, it's affordable, beautiful artwork, super cheap to just stack on. It makes total sense to purchase this at $5 or $6 or whatever it, anything under 10. I think this card is a great purchase under $10. I definitely see this going up to 20 in the future. And right now in a 10, it's going for about $140 to $150. So if I bought all these copies, let's say I grade all 4 of these and 2 of them come back in 10s, I already made $300 back, which is basically my full investment in it if I were to sell them. Obviously if I got one in a 10, I'd probably want to keep it, but let's say I were to get all 4 of these in a 10, I'm keeping one, I'm selling the other 3, and then I profited, $140, and I got to keep all these and all these and all these. So it's something to think about, Like I said, I need to get a binder to store these in or put them all on top loaders or something just to keep them safe. So this isn't the best way to protect them, but they've just been sitting on my desk for a couple days now. I'm not too worried about it. But the big problem with PSA right now, I might have touched on this earlier, is just the turnaround times. You know, I've sent off mini submissions last year. I've documented all of them on this channel, and the turnaround times are getting longer and longer, and I don't know if it's worth it to send these in right now. Like, I know first to market, that's the best bet of making a good profit, especially I think there's only roughly 40 PSA 10s. If I were to send them in on a faster submission tier, I could get these back. You know, it'd probably cost me $70 per card. I could still turn a small profit per card. It's not going to get my whole investment back. But the longer you wait on stuff like this, let's say I were to send it on the bulk submission tier, which is a $20 fee or $18.99 fee, whatever it is, I'm not going to see these cards back for 6 months. And when 6 months comes around and everybody who hopped on this before me and graded all these Flygons before me, and now there's 5,000 in the pop report, the card is now $60.10. So those are all things you got to think about. I mean, regardless, I made the decision to purchase these because I felt like at $5 it was a no-brainer, you know. And really, it's not all about the profit. This will look great in a binder. I love the card, love the Pokemon. There's really not much more to say about that, you know. And I'm very disappointed with PSA, but we'll talk about that in another video. For this video, I just wanted to show off something that I'm putting my money into. And if this is something you guys are thinking about doing with a specific card, I say go for it, especially if it's cheap like this, like an illustration rare, right around $5. Third stage Pokemon, Gen 3, it's super popular. First illustration rare by this Pokemon. You can't go wrong. Like, really, you can't go wrong. I do have some other cards to show off here. And this is kind of me announcing I might start collecting some Flygons. So I bought that one for like $8 from my local. I had these in my collection. I've held on to them. I put them to the side because I love Flygon. I actually bought this one today for I think $4. Super clean copy. Like, no whitening on it. Great centering. Super clean copy. This is actually the first one I bought. I bought this at a convention, front row card show in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was $5, and I was in shock because when I saw the set, I knew I needed this card, and to be able to pick it up for $5, that's what inspired all these purchases, basically. I've had this one for a while. I bought it. It looked, you know, it's not perfect, but I mean, it's pretty clean for how old it is. I bought it as a binder copy. And I actually bought this one, I think, back in November. Same thing, like, pretty freaking clean for how old it is. Like, hardly any whitening on it. There's a little bit of surface scratching, which is to be expected for a card this old that isn't packed fresh. But I've been buying these Flygons up just because I love the Pokemon, and it's something I've thought about, you know, maybe collecting, and haven't really committed to, but I think now's the time to commit a little bit. I got some reverse hollows. I bought these off TCG Player because just to get like free shipping with some of these. Sometimes on TCG Player you got to spend $5 or more to get free shipping. So let's say this is a $4.50 card and shipping's $1.30. If I spend another 50 cents, I'll get free shipping and I get 2 more cards, so it actually ends up being cheaper. This is one I actually pulled myself, and I'm pretty sure it was already in this hard case when I dug it out of my collection today, and I mean, it looks clean. So I sleeved this thing right away because I don't know, I just love Flygon. But I thought I had a hollow version of this. I guess I didn't, so maybe I should have bought a few copies of the regular hollow. That's something I can always get. Now is a good time to buy them while there's thousands of them in minty condition. And then on top of those, I have some Brilliant Stars reverse hollows that I've set aside. And I've sold a lot of reverse hollows from Sword and Shield era because they're like 10 cents a piece, and when you got 5,000 of them, that's like $50. But for some reason, I always kept my Flygons, which, I mean, makes sense. I've always had it in the back of my head that maybe this is a Pokemon I want to collect or put in a binder, so it's cool to, you know, have a small collection of Flygon. Tyranitar will always be king for me, but, you know, you can't go wrong with collecting another Pokemon you love. And I think that's about it. I just wanted to flex my Flygon Illustration rares, inform the Pokemon community that, you know, this is something I'm doing. I'm buying a bunch of Flygons right now. I'm not going to be the Kabuto king or nothing like that, but I think this is a great card. And if you're interested in purchasing them, now's the time, because I'm going to be buying some more most likely, and it is only going to go up. With that being said, please like, subscribe, comment down below. This has been Austin at Tyranitrade, signing off.